going on, family? This is Inspired to be Great, and I am your host, Ron Miles. Listen, family, I'm super excited about today. Why? Because you decided to tune in. You decided to say, hey, I want to be inspired. I want to live better. I want better, not only for my family, but I want better out of me. And that's the goal of Inspired to be Great, is to strike at the core of you to becoming your best you each and every day. Listen, family, I want to continue to thank you for supporting me. Thank you for going to iTunes and downloading. Thank you for going to Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Blueberry Radio, and all the other audio outlets that you can find me on. Listen, family, today I want to talk about living on borrowed time. Living on borrowed time. And what does that mean to you? What really does that mean to you to know that we're living on borrowed time? None of us know what's promised tomorrow. None of us know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. None of us know, matter of fact, within the next second, if we're going to be here. Nobody really knows, family. And so if you were to die at this particular moment, if your life was to be taken from you at this particular moment, what would your life say about you? Would it say that you were a good person? Would it say that you lived out your dreams to the fullest? Would it say that you gave all that you had? Would it say that you never quit, that you always gave 120%? What would your life say, family? That's a serious question that we have to ask ourselves, because we're living as if we're promised and guaranteed tomorrow when we're not. Now, listen, family, I'm not casting any aspersions on anybody, because things happen and things pull us back. And I mean, including myself. And that's how I came to this topic today, because I started to take for granted what I've been blessed with. And I'm not talking financially, and I'm not talking within my family. I'm talking with my gift of being able to touch people, being able to reach people, being able to inspire people. I started taking for granted as if it's going to continuously be here. Have you ever done that? Have you ever started taking things for granted? Maybe it was a significant other. Maybe it was somebody in your family. Maybe it was a job or a gift that you have, that you've been blessed with, that you just kind of pick it up and put it down whenever you feel. But what if that thing wasn't there for you when you went for it? What if that person wasn't there for you when you called on them? What if that gift wasn't available to you when you absolutely needed it? And I think a lot of us get to that point at times, family. I think a lot of us decide that we subconsciously tell ourselves that we have time when we don't. That is the biggest trick the enemy ever gave us, is to make us believe that we have time. I have time to get it right. I have time to go back to school. I have time to start my business. I have time to make things better in my relationship. I have time. When family, we don't know. Just think about how many people that you've lost along the way. Rather actually be to death, incarceration, or just relationships that went sour. Rather it be intimate relationships, rather it be family relationships, rather it be friendships, rather it be business relationships, all because you thought you had time to make it right. And when you were ready, they weren't. It wasn't there. It wasn't giving you the response that you wanted. You weren't getting the reaction that you thought you would get, because now you're ready to go. And see, family, that's what I really want to tap into today, is about how can we move past thinking that we have time and start living each day as if tomorrow really wasn't promised. I know you heard those old cliches before. I know somebody didn't told you that before. I know somebody, you didn't, those things have been said a million times. But family, when you start going through things, when you start understanding what's taking place in your life, you realize that tomorrow is not promised. Listen, family, I owe all of you an apology, a sincere apology from the deepest, innermost parts of my heart, because I took for granted this gift that I was blessed with, and I sat it down for over 2 months. This is my first podcast in 2 months, family. Yeah, I've been doing other things. Don't get me wrong. I got another podcast that I've been doing once a week, which is great. I got some other business deals and different things that I was doing. But what I realized, those things, they just didn't give me the life that this gives me. Because when you're doing what you love, it feeds you. And I don't do it. Don't get me wrong. I don't do it because I want to constantly feed myself. But what I realize is when I'm trying to help somebody, I realized at the end of it that I'm actually helping myself as well. I'm teaching myself something out of me willing to give from the innermost parts of myself, out of me willing to share, divulge with you guys exactly what I'm going through, exactly how I'm feeling. I realize it's healing for me as well. And so what was I doing? I closed the lunchbox and wasn't feeding myself. Yes. I pray that every time I step to this mic, every time I hop on a podcast, that I help change somebody's way of thinking, that I help them see that there's a better way, that there is light at the end of this dark tunnel, that I help them see the end of the forest while they're walking through the middle of the jungle. But at the end of the day, I also help heal myself. And there's nothing wrong with that, I come to realize. There's nothing wrong with it. Why? Because we all need some type of self-healing. We all need some type of therapy. And sometimes the way to get it out is by helping somebody else get through theirs. And really, that person is helping you. Throughout that 2-month journey, family, and all the different other business ventures I've been doing, and all the collaborations that I've had the opportunity to do, and some of the interviews and different things, which have been awesome. They have been absolutely awesome, and I have no regrets about it. But what I come to realize, it was so many people during that time reaching out to me saying, hey, when you gonna drop another podcast? When you gonna do? And I kept pushing that stuff back to the burner, believing I had time. But then I woke up one night, in the middle of the night, I woke up and I heard it as clear as day. What if somebody who needed to hear something that I've been holding on to now won't have the opportunity to hear because I feel as if I have time to get back to it? I kept planning to get back to it. I really didn't mean to take this long of a break. It was only supposed to be maybe a week, 10 days tops. Turned into 2 months. Have you ever been there, family? Have you ever been there where you say, oh, I'm just going to take a day off? It's kind of like when you're in your diet or you're exercising. Oh, today's my cheat day. But isn't it funny how your cheat day usually comes on a Thursday or a Friday, knowing that the weekend is right around the corner? And that's when we're our most laziest. Yes, at the same time, we're busy because we're trying to accomplish all the things we wasn't able to get done during the week. But at the same time, that's in our mind. Mentally, we've already checked out, knowing that we could sleep in a little longer on that Saturday or Sunday, knowing that we could take our time and do things. Why? Because we feel as if we have all the time in the world. So it's you to be more lax with yourself and not stay on the strict path that you were on. Why? Because you have a goal, you have a destination. Now just think, if one day can deter you and have you miss your opportunity, think how bad 2 months can do it, family. Some people have missed their opportunities and been delaying themselves for years. So I'm telling you, family, we don't have time to take off. We don't have time to think that it's going to be there tomorrow, because at the drop of a dime, you can have an aneurysm and go. At the drop of a dime, a heart attack, a stroke, anything could happen, family. And so what really got me thinking about it as I woke up that night was, and it's something that I've always do all the time, I do a self-evaluation of what will my legacy be if I was to go. How many people will say that I helped them? How many people will say that they learned something from me? How many people will say that I inspired them? That's what I ask myself all the time. And so I want you to do the same. I want you to start to ask yourself, do I have the time to take off? Do I have the time to let somebody down? Do you, family? Do you? Do you really have the time? The answer is no. Stop lying to yourself. I had to stop lying to myself, saying that I had the time, saying that I can get to it tomorrow, saying that it will continuously be there. When we do that, family, we're actually losing. We're losing our relationships. We're losing our opportunities. We're losing our gifts. Why? Because we're not refining them. We're not constantly putting them to use. We're not making ourselves better. We're not sharpening our iron, family. So I challenge you, family, to stop thinking that you have tomorrow to get it done when you have the opportunity right now. Take hold of your future. Take hold of your dreams. I don't know what it is that you want to do. Only you know. But as they say, excuses don't build bridges, nor does it build up your bank account. So quit trying to build your life based off excuses and start building your life brick by brick, slab by slab, with a destination, with a purpose in mind, family. You got to tune out what other people are telling you. Sometimes those people can't see where you're going because they have no vision of their own outside of where they're at. Think about it, family. The people that you're trying to please, the people that you're trying to keep in your inner circle, how much more do they have than you? How further in life have they gotten than you? See, to expand where you're going, you have to expand your circle, and the circle have to be expanded to those who are already at where you want to go. Those who are already accomplishing what you want to do, or those who are on the same path, the same wavelength, people you could go and sync with. You cannot surround yourself and be embodied or engulfed by those who can't see no further than tomorrow. You have the opportunity now. Stop wasting time. Stop passing up on your opportunities. Stop giving your life back and start taking life. When I was 19, family, I read a great book by a guy named Delatoro McNeil. It was called The Graveyard Robber. And it absolutely, positively changed my perspective on life. It changed my perspective on life. The basis of the book was basically saying that some of the greatest musicians, some of the greatest artists, some of the greatest engineers, some of the greatest leaders in the world are all gathered in one place, in the cemetery. And basically what he was saying was, it was those who felt like they had tomorrow, those who felt like they had more time, those who were afraid, those who were confined, those who were stricken by those who were around them, those who didn't want to move past the neighborhoods that they were raised in, those who didn't want more, took their gifts and died with them. And so the whole book was about you robbing the grave of your gifts, you pulling everything out of you that you have. And still to this day, family, it's one of the best books that I've ever read from front to back. Why? Because it inspired me. It changed my perspective. It changed the way I saw things. And I start realizing at that point, I don't have time to give to the grave because I don't know when my time will be up. It would be totally different if somebody told you, oh, in year 2059, you're going to die. Then you know you have time to get things accomplished. You know, it's no different than a kid who knows that their parents get off work at 4 and are usually home by 4:30, and they were told the night before to clean up. Wanted the house vacuumed and stuff dusted and furniture polished, kitchen, swept and mopped and cleaned up. And so what do? You be lackadaisical about it. Why? Because you know the time. You know at 4 o'clock they get off. So by 4:30 they're going to be home. So you feel you have time. So now it's 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. You still haven't done anything. 10:30 you say, I need to start doing stuff. 11, you figure you're going to grab you something to eat because you still don't feel like it. 12 comes, you're watching your shows. 1 o'clock comes, you say, I got 3 hours. You still ain't doing nothing, though. 1:30 comes and you say, let me start moving. So now you start moving little stuff here and there. 2 o'clock comes, you're speeding picked up. 2:30, you moving very fast. You going through all the rooms, knocking it out. 3:30 come, you about almost finished. You moving along. Why? Because you understand when your time will be up. You understand that my time is going to be up here shortly. So you know what you need to get done. You know how you need to do it. But the problem is, family, we don't know when our time is going to be up. But we still act like we have forever. You know, during these 2 months, I done lost quite a few people, you know, either in my family or close friends. And I felt as I went from funeral to funeral, you know, hospital room to hospital room, I felt like, man, I wish we had more time. They didn't get to live out all their dreams. They didn't get to reach their fullest potential in life. They took those things to the grave. And family, my goal, my intentions when I decided to do this podcast, when I got invigorated again, to hop back in the booth and perform, so to speak, was to let you know that no, you don't have time, but it's so much that you can get accomplished within a day. Yes, you may have a full-time job. You may be a full-time student, but that don't mean you can't be focused, rather, on your future. Focus on your goals, knowing what you want to do, having a plan that's detailed out. Something that's going to keep you on course. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, family. So I want you, I really do want you. I want you to start practicing with the mindset that you don't have time, that you don't want to take your gifts, your dreams, your ideas, your life-saving medicines, your future doctors, lawyers, engineers, whatever it is you got, whatever your goal is, whatever your dreams are, that you don't want them to go to the grave with you. That you're going to make a promise to yourself that you're going to live out your dreams, that you're going to reach your highest heights. You're going to surpass those things and go to levels that you didn't even dream of. Why? Because as you continue striving to be better, to become great, as you keep striving to reach new levels, new doors, new opportunities, and new goals that you never thought of would happen. Take someone like Jay-Z. You know, he started out, you know, grew up in the projects. His dream was just to make it out the projects. And he saw that selling drugs was the way to do it. But he also knew that he was gifted in music. And he liked music. But he didn't have the money to make the music that he wanted to make, to produce the songs, they have the studio time. So he starts selling drugs to make a better way, a better life for himself. Not condoning it, family. I'm not condoning. Let me put that out there to you. But he started doing that. And at the same time, he had the money now to start making the music. Well, once he started making the music, he realized I don't have to sell drugs. But then the music, and he started making more money. He started reaching new levels. He realized he could have more things in life. He didn't just settle to say, I've made it. I arrived. No, he started a clothing line. He started his own champagne and alcohol lines. He invested into different arts and different buildings, into real estate. He obviously started his own music company, his own streaming music company. I mean, the man is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And what happened is he first wanted to make $1 million and see what it's like to be called a millionaire. Then when he said, well, I realized how I could do that. Let me see how I make 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, 400 million, 500 million. Now his goal is to make $1 billion. See, the thing of it is, as you continue reaching new heights, as you continue living out your dreams, as you continue to pull new gifts, new ideas, new streams out of yourself, your goals continue to increase. Because you realize I can go further. So yes, start with the dream that you have. Pursue it with everything in you. As if time, not as if, but knowing that time is not on your side. And once you accomplish that, you realize I have more to give. I have more to do. And I'm willing to push myself to the limit. With that being said, family, I want you to always remember that you can find me on iTunes, that you can find us on Podbean, that you can find us on Stitcher Radio, Blueberry Radio, and most of all, family, go to our Facebook page, Inspired to Be Great. Click like, sign up, join in on the conversations. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know why, because I get inspired by hearing from you guys. I get inspired by the emails I get from you guys. I get inspired just by knowing I've had the opportunity to help shape somebody's thought process. With that being said, family, remember, greatness only happens when you make good the enemy of great. I see you on the other side.